Welcome to High School Academic Derby, brought to you by the Onslow County Schools. In our first match of the 2017-2018 season, Swansboro plays White Oak. The scorekeeper for all of our matches today is Wanda Costner. Let's meet the coaches and their players for the first round. And we will start with White Oak. They are coached by Ashley Baker, and her players for this round will be...
I'm Jael Encarnacion, and I am a junior.
Anna Driscoll, senior.
John Lotzis, sophomore.
Ryan McElhenney, senior.
The Swansboro coach is Christina Golden. Her players are...
Joshua T. Marks, senior.
Benjamin Lagasse, sophomore.
Christina Stair, senior.
Alejandro Rivera, freshman.
Your first toss-up players is from history. In 1524, France claimed North America as its own, as a result of which French explorers' expeditions along the North American coast. A double-decker suspension bridge bearing his name connects Staten Island and Brooklyn today in New York City. Giovanni de Verrazzano. Biology. This bacterium, commonly found in the intestines of humans and other animals, usually causes no harm. Some strains, however, can cause severe food poisoning, especially in children and the elderly. Identify this disease that can be fatal if not treated early on. Christina.
E. coli?
That's correct. For your bonus, identify the following medical conditions based upon the descriptions provided. Number 1, formation of fibrous tissue in the liver secondary to viral infections or excessive alcohol consumption. Number 2, infection of the small intestine transmitted by shellfish, plankton, and or poor sanitation, characterized by diarrhea, vomiting, and cramping. Number 3, a speech disorder characterized by a break in fluency where sounds, syllables, or words may be repeated or prolonged. Number 4, acute life-threatening viral disease characterized by fever, jaundice, and internal bleeding. It is spread by mosquitoes. Christina.
For 1, we have cirrhosis. For 2, we have salmonella. For 3, we have stutter. And for 4, we have malaria.
1, 3, and 4 are correct for 6 points. And number 2, White Oak?
We have nothing.
It's cholera. Our next toss-up deals with famous people. Success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which he has overcome, is one of this African-American author and educator's best-known quotes. Who is this former advisor to presidents and author of Up from Slavery? John.
Frederick Douglass.
Incorrect. You want to try at Swansboro? It's Booker T. Washington. Sociology. In sociological terms, what type of family is composed of a married couple and their immediate children? Alejandro.
Nuclear.
Correct. For your bonus, identify each term from the field of sociology. Number 1, the adjective, which describes a group that shares a common culture and identity. Number 2, a strongly prohibited social practice, the strongest form of a social norm. Number 3, an organization designed to care and comfort for the terminally ill. Number 4, according to Freudian theory, it is the conscious, rational part of a personality. Christina.
For 1, we have family. For 2, we have taboo. For 3, we have hospice. And for 4, we have ego.
2, 3, and 4 are correct for 6 points. Number 1, White Oak?
For number 1, we have community.
It's called an ethnic group. Drama. For the following question, provide both the first and last name as an answer. In Arthur Miller's play Death of a Salesman, which character generally supports Willie as his loving, loyal wife, although she is often more realistic and less fragile? And her name is Linda Lohman. Math toss-up. It involves a calculation, so I will read it twice for you. If the function f of x equals 5x minus 3, and the function g of x equals 2x minus 9, find the value of f of g of negative 4. If the function f of x equals 5x minus 3 and the function g of x equals 2x minus 9, find the value of f of g of negative 4. Anna.
Negative 88.
Correct. For your bonus, identify each of the following related to functions. Number 1, relationship that exists between two functions when f of g of x and g of f of x is equal to x. Number 2, give the domain of the identity function. Number 3, give the range of the logarithm function. Number 4, other than periodic, give the adjective used to describe any function whose graph represents a continuous wave. Anna.
We have nothing.
Swansboro?
For 1, we have inverse. For 2, we have all real numbers. For 3, we have nothing. And for 4, we have sinusoidal.
1, 2, and 4 are correct for 6 points. Number 3 was all real numbers. Public speaking. Informal debate. What name designates the first speech given by each orator on both sides when trying to build their case? Christina.
The opening statement.
Incorrect. White Oak? Giles.
The introduction.
It's called the constructive speech. And that's the end of our first round. We'll come back with our score in round 2 right after this.
I teach because I love kids. History is something that I do, but the kids are what I love, and they're the biggest reason why I'm here, that building strong relationships and being a good role model for them, that's the most important part of teaching for me.
After one round, our score is Swansboro 22, White Oak 2. We'll start round 2 with a toss-up from grammar. In the following sentence, which verb tense is used? Louisa had explored the castle completely before closing time. Benjamin.
Past tense.
Incorrect. White Oak. Jael.
Past participle. Past participle.
I'll accept that. Past participle or past perfect. For your bonus, in each sentence, identify the specific verb tense used. Number 1, I shall go to Korea. Number 2, in 10 brief minutes, the storm had ended. Number 3, I will be running in the Savannah Marathon next year. Number 4, the teachers have examined the artifacts thoroughly. Anna.
For number 1, we have future. For number 2, we have past perfect. For number 3, we have future progressive. And for number 4, we have past perfect.
1, 2, and 3 are correct for 6 points. Swansboro, number 4.
Oh, for number 4, we have past perfect. What did they say?
No, it's the present perfect. Have examined. So no points there. Okay, literature bonus. Which literary satire was presented as a way of preventing the children of the poor people of Ireland from being a burden to their parents or country? Written by Jonathan Swift, it advocated using children as a food source. It's called A Modest Proposal. Physics toss-up. Modern physics recognizes 5 states of matter, 3 of which are solid, liquid, and gas. Identify either of the other 2 states. Anna. Plasma is one. The other is called a Bose-Einstein condensate. For your bonus, identify each of the following terms from physics. Number 1, the type of subatomic particles that include nucleons, positrons, muons, and tau particles. Number 2, the curving of a liquid up or down adjacent to the edge of a container. Number 3, the type of ray produced when an electron and positron collide in a low energy case. Number 4, the type of subatomic particle that is composed of an even number of fermions. Anna.
For number 1, we have ions. For number 2, we have surface tension. And for number 3, we have gamma.
Gamma is correct for 2 points. Swansboro, 1, 2, or 4. For number 1, fermion. Number 2, it's called a meniscus. Number 4, bosons. Math calculation, so again, I'll read it for you twice. Using the properties of logarithms, express the following expansion as the logarithm of a single number. 2 log of 3 plus log of 15 minus log of 5. Using the properties of logarithms, express the following expansion as the logarithm of a single number. 2 log of 3 plus log of 15 minus log of 5. Joshua.
17.
Incorrect. White Oak. The answer is log 27. Geography is your next toss-up area. With its 3 volcanic cones, Kibo, Mawenzi, and Shira, this dominant volcano in Tanzania is the highest mountain in Africa and rises approximately 4,900 meters from its base to 5,895 meters above sea level. Identify this summit. Anna.
Mount Kilimanjaro.
Correct. For your bonus, identify each of the following associated with Africa. Number 1, country that is separated from the Arabian Peninsula by the Strait of Bab al-Mandeb. Its capital city shares the name of the country. Number 2, the channel where the Comoros, C-O-M-O-R-O-S, Comoros Islands lie. Number 3, the former province of Ethiopia, situated on the coast of the Red Sea. And number 4, the capital located farthest west on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. Anna.
For number 1, we have Djibouti.
That's correct for 2 points. 2, 3, or 4, Swansboro.
For 3, we have Egypt.
2 was the Mozambique Channel. 3, Eritrea. 4, Dakar. A law toss-up. In this type of lawsuit, one or more members of a large group of individuals or other entities sue on behalf of the entire group, but a district court must find that the claims of the members contain questions of law or fact in common before the lawsuit can proceed. By what two-word phrase is this type of suit known? It's called a class action. U.S. history. As the earliest form of taxation without representation, the Stamp Act and the Sugar Act, much to the protests of the colonists, impacted their daily lives and livelihoods. What other series of acts passed in 1767 laid additional taxes on glass, lead, paper, paint, and tea? Christina.
The Townsend Acts.
Correct. And for your bonus, identify each of the following associated with the American Revolution. Number 1, name the 1764 Act forbidding the issuance of legal tender paper money by the colonial assemblies. Number 2, name the city where the British won the most southern battle of the war, which enabled Clinton to attack South Carolina in force. Number 3, upon the victory at Saratoga, give the name of the first European country to recognize the colonies as an independent nation. And number 4, give the name of either of the 2 men who led 83 Americans in the capture of Fort Ticonderoga. Christina.
For 1, we have the Stamp Act. For 2, we have nothing. For 3, we have France. And for 4, we have Washington.
Number 3 is correct for 2 points. White Oak, 1, 2, or 4?
For number 2, we have Richmond.
No, number 1 was the Currency Act. Number 2 is Savannah, Georgia. Number 4, you could answer either Ethan Allen or Benedict Arnold. Literature toss-up. If you ask me what I came into this life to do, I will tell you. I came to live out loud is a quote by which French novelist, journalist, and playwright who wrote Germinal, Nana, and the Miller's Daughter and published his famous defense of Dreyfus? His name was Émile Zola. And that's the end of our second round. We'll add up our points and come back with a lightning round in just a moment.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Join us for the College Fair on Wednesday, October 25th at Northside High School. Middle school students are welcome from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and high school students from 6 to 8 p.m. Representatives from over 60 colleges will help answer all of your questions about applying, tuition, and college life. So we'll see you at the College Fair.
And after 2 rounds, our score is Swansboro 26, White Oak 18. As you know, our lightning round, we have 20 questions, generally centered around a single topic. Today, all of our answers will start with the letter A. So if you're ready, players, native people of central Mexico conquered by Cortez. Anna.
Aztecs.
Correct. State whose capital is Phoenix. Christina.
Arizona.
Correct. The system of racial segregation formerly used in South Africa. Christina.
Apartheid.
Right. Unit of measure used for wavelengths of light equal to 1/10,000,000th of a meter. Capital of Greece. John.
Athens.
Correct. Ceres is the largest of these objects in the solar system. Giles.
Asteroid.
Correct. The raising and harvesting of fresh and saltwater plants and animals. Christina.
Aquaculture.
Correct. A condition characterized by loss of memory. Anna.
Alzheimer's.
Incorrect. Plants in which the seed is enclosed in an ovary. All flowering plants belong to this group. European nation whose capital is Vienna. John.
Austria.
Right. Class of arthropods including the spiders, scorpions. Christina.
Arachnids.
Right. In Greek mythology, the god of war. John.
Ares.
Correct. The Spanish fleet defeated by the English. Anna.
Armada.
Right. The only continent with no permanent human habitation. Christina.
Antarctica.
Right. The branch of biology concerned with the study of the body structure of plants and animals. Danish author of The Ugly Duckling and The Little Match Girl. Anna.
Anderson.
Correct. In America the Beautiful, cities made of this are undimmed by human tears. The science of sound. The second largest continent. Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Okay, the ones that we did not answer correctly or at all. The unit of measure used for wavelengths of light equal to 1/10,000,000th of a meter is an angstrom. Plants in which the seed is enclosed in an ovary, all flowery plants, are called angiosperms. The branch of biology that studies the body structure of plants and animals is anatomy. In America the Beautiful, cities made of alabaster are undimmed by human tears. The science of sound is acoustics. The second largest continent is Africa, and those elements that I named are alkali or alkali metals. We'll add in our lightning round points and come back with a final score right after this.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Today's final score is Swansboro 38, White Oak 32. Please stay with us for our next game, which is between Jacksonville and Southwest.
Join us for the College Fair on Wednesday, October 25th at Northside High School. Middle school students are welcome from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and high school students from 6 to 8 p.m. Representatives from over 60 colleges will help answer all of your questions about applying, tuition, and college life. So we'll see you at the college fair.
Miss Nicole Martin, our 2017-18 Onslow County Schools Teacher of the Year. Creative thinker, marvelous teacher, advocate for public education and students, and superhero, Miss Nicole Martin.
Onslow County has just been is just the greatest district that anyone could ever ask to work for. And really, I know we have cameras in here, but you really have to turn it on these students. I mean, I couldn't do anything that I do if it wasn't for my students. My honors class is in here right now. They were working really hard, and some of my student leaders are in here. They work so hard to help make everything possible and to have a supportive principal and a supportive district that really enables us to do everything that we do here in Onslow County.
Welcome to High School Academic Derby, brought to you by the Onslow County Schools. We have a contest today between Jacksonville and Southwest, so let's meet the coaches and their players for round one. The Southwest coaches are Krista Watts and Julie Pollock. Their players for this round are
Rachel Scos, Jr.
Kalijah Moore, Senior.
McKenna Starling, Jr.
Natani Romo.
Jacksonville is coached by Tony Zernheld. His players for this round will be
Austin Darty, Senior.
Kale Quintero, Senior.
Lizzie Coleman, Senior.
Delphin Monahan, Jr.
Toss-up number one deals with drama. In a dramatic production, this reserve actor, although not cast in a specific role, learns another's lines in order to be able to act as a replacement at short notice. By what name is he or she? Rachel?
Understudy.
Correct. For your bonus, identify each term associated with theater, all of which will begin either with the letters A, B, or C. Number one, the part of the stage located in front of the curtain. Number two, two-word phrase that designates a form of acting required when one forgets his lines. Number three, a signal that indicates a particular action is to occur. Number four, the process of arranging the moves to be made by actors during the play. Elijah.
For number one, we have bow, and for number three, we have cue.
Q is correct for 2 points. Jacksonville, 1, 2, or 4.
For number 2, we have ad lib, and for number 4, we have choreography.
2 is ad lib for 2 points. Number 1 is apron, and number 4 is blocking. Movie toss-up. Based on an incident that took place in 2009 in New York's Hudson River, this movie features Tom Hanks as the airline pilot who saved 155 lives. Lizzie?
Sully.
Sully is correct. For your bonus, identify each of the following 2016 movies based on the given description. Number 1, re-release of Rudyard Kipling's classic novel. Number 2, 3 thieves invade a blind veteran's home thinking he's an easy target. Number 4, the animated feature in which a young boy must locate a magical suit of armor worn by his late father in order to defeat a vengeful spirit from the past. Number 4, romantic drama directed by Thea Sharrock and adapted by Jojo Moyes from her 2012 novel of the same name that centers on characters Lou Clark and Will Traynor. Lizzie.
Okay. For number 1, we have the Jungle Book, and for number 1, we have Kubo and the Two Strings.
Okay, you said number 1 twice. That
Oh, I apologize. For number 3, we have Kubo and the Two Strings.
okay? Both of those are correct for 4 points. 2 or 4,
For number
Southwest.
2, we have Don't Speak.
No, you were close on that. It's Don't Breathe. And number 4 is Me Before You. Mammals. Which medium-sized mammal native to North America is the largest of the procyanid, P-R-O-C-Y-O-N-I-D, procyanid family, having a body length of 40 to 70 centimeters and a weight between 3.5 and 9 kilograms? This usually nocturnal omnivore is distinctly recognized by its facial mask coloration. Lizzie.
The raccoon.
Correct. For your bonus, identify each one of the following classifications as a kingdom, phylum, class, family, order, genus, or species. Number 1 is Annelida. Number 2, Chiroptera. Number 3, Gastropoda. And number 4, Hominidae, and it's spelled H-O-M-I-N-I-D-A-E.
For number 1, we have phylum, and that's it.
That is correct for 2 points. Southwest, 2, 3, or 4.
For number 2, we have Class. For number 3, we have Order. And for 4, we have Genus.
If you'd reverse 2 and 3, you'd have both of them. It's order for number 2, class for number 3, family for number 4. Your next toss-up deals with the U.S. Constitution. Among the 27 U.S. constitutional amendments, which one prohibits the seizure of private property for public use without appropriate Austin?
The Fifth Amendment.
That's correct. For your bonus, from the information given, identify the constitutional amendment that deals with each of the following. Number 1, it set up the Electoral College for presidential elections. Number 2, it prohibits unreasonable search and seizure. Number 3, this amendment provided for election of senators. And number 4, this amendment eliminated the payment of poll tax in voting for federal elections. Lizzie.
Okay. For number 1, we have the Third Amendment. For number 2, we have the Seventh Amendment. And for number 4, we have the 18th Amendment.
None of those are correct, so any of the 4, Southwest? Nope. Okay, the answers are in order: the 12th, 4th, 17th, and 24th Amendments. Technology. As of July 1st, 2016, all smartphones sold in California are required to have this software. What is the common name of this feature that includes Apple's Activation Lock and Google's Device Protection, which allows owners to lock their phones remotely? Rachel.
Smart lock?
Incorrect, Jacksonville? It's called a kill switch. Mythology. During the Trojan War, which mythological heroes' horses, Xanthus and Balius, which were received as a gift from his father, pulled his chariot? Kalijah.
Apollo.
Incorrect, Jacksonville? Lizzie.
Helios?
It's good.
Helios?
No, it's Achilles. Botany. Among the mosses and the liverworts, which type of filamentous outgrowth or root hair on the underside of the thallus serves both to anchor the plant and, in terrestrial forms, to conduct water? Natani.
The roots.
Incorrect. Jacksonville. Lizzie.
Mycorrhiza?
It's called a rhizoid. Vocabulary. In architecture, this noun term designates a narrow, tall window with a pointed arch. In the medical field, it names a cutting instrument with a double-edged blade often used to prick the finger. Identify this word that begins with the letter L. It's called a lancet. And that's the end of our first round. We'll come back with round 2 in just a moment.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
I teach and I coach because I enjoy developing relationships with the young kids, and that's what I kind of get at. That's why I get up and come to work every day.
After one round, our score is Jacksonville 14, Southwest 4. We have new players to meet for the Southwest team, and we'll start with
Sullivan Brown, freshman.
Marla Starling, freshman.
April Gower, junior.
Zachary Jarman, junior.
round 2. We start with a math calculation, so I'll be reading it twice for you players. Through which quadrant of the Cartesian coordinate system does the graph of the line 6x plus 3y equals 8 not pass? Through which quadrant of the Cartesian coordinate system does the graph of the line 6x plus 3y equals 8? Austin?
Third.
That is correct. For your bonus, perform each calculation or answer each of the following math questions. Number 1, find the 10th term of an arithmetic sequence whose first term is 4 and whose common difference is 7. Number 2, if a line is perpendicular to the line whose slope is 5/3 and the coordinates of 2 points on the line are 5, 4 and 2y, express the value of y as an improper fraction. Number 3, the two segments of the hypotenuse of a right triangle measure 8 centimeters and 4 centimeters. What is the length of the altitude from the right angle to the hypotenuse expressed in simplest form? And number 4, find the cross product of the three-dimensional vectors A equals 2, 3, 4, and B equals 5, 6, 7. Lizzie. Your answers, please. I need an answer now.
For number 1, we have 67.
And that is correct for 2 points. Southwest, 2, 3, or 4? Anything? Okay. For number 2, the answer is y equals 29 over 5. Number 3, the answer is 4 times the square root of 2 centimeters. And number 4, that product is -3, 6, -3. Malapropisms. What word should be substituted for the word used improperly in this line? Highly unfavorable climactic conditions caused tourists to shy away from the Caribbean. Austin. Incorrect. Southwest. It's climatic. The word climactic was the one that was incorrect. Number 2. This toss-up deals with birds. What Australian bird may be 6 feet tall and weigh 120 pounds? Zachary.
Ostrich.
Incorrect. Jacksonville. Lizzie.
The emu.
Emu's correct. And for your bonuses, answer each of the following. Number 1, what enormous bird was rendered extinct by the Maoris? Number 2, what raptor's name is also that of a British military jet capable of vertical takeoff and landing by means of thrust vectoring? Number 3, characterized by a bony projection on top of its head and brightly colored wattles, what large flightless bird related to the emu and ostrich inhabits rainforests in New Guinea and Australia? Number 4, what national society began in 1885 when a group of U.S. bird watchers were organized by Forest and Stream editor George Bird Grinnell to protest the commercial hunting of birds and the indiscriminate slaughter of U.S. wildlife? Lizzie.
For number 1, we have the moa. For number 2, we have the harrier. For number 3, we have the cassowary. And for number 4, we have the Audubon Society.
Those are all 4 correct for 10 points. Your next toss-up deals with suffixes. What term for a war resistor or anti-war protester includes a Russian suffix meaning someone involved with? Lizzie.
Pacifist.
Incorrect. Southwest. It's called a peacenik. Your next toss-up deals with stars. Regulus, R-E-G-U-L-U-S, is the brightest star in what constellation? That's Leo. Another math calculation, so again I'll read it for you twice. The square root of 5 to the 6th power equals 5 to what power? The square root of 5 to the 6th power equals 5 to what power? Austin.
The 4th.
Incorrect. Southwest. Zachary.
The 3rd.
The 3rd is correct. For your bonus, answer each of these math questions. Number 1, simplify this expression. M to the 2/3 power times m to the negative 1/2 power. Number 2, 5 to the 6th power divided by 5 to the 3rd power equals what number? Number 3, express the 12th root of x to the 7th power as a rational power of x. And number 4, 10 to the y power times 10 to the z power equals 10 to what power? Marla. Your answers, please.
Number 1, m to the 2/3 power. Number 1, sorry, m to the 1/6 power, and number 2, 125.
Coaches will have to confer on that first one. The second answer is correct for 2 points. So Jacksonville, do you have answers for 3 or 4?
For number 4, we have 10 to the y plus 2 power.
No, number 3 is x to the 7/12 power. And number 4 is to the y plus z power. Ecology. Name the special type of symbiosis in which 2 different kinds of animals habitually associate with one another to the detriment of neither and the gain. Austin.
Mutualism.
Incorrect, and I'll start it from the beginning for Southwest. Name the special type of symbiosis in which two different kinds of animals habitually associate with one another to the detriment of neither and the gain of only one. Zachary.
Parasitism?
It's called commensalism. And that's the end of our second round. We'll come back with our score and our lightning round in just a moment.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Join us for the College Fair on Wednesday, October 25th at Northside High School. Middle school students are welcome from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and high school students from 6 to 8 p.m. Representatives from over 60 colleges will help answer all of your questions about applying, tuition, and college life. So we'll see you at the College Fair.
And our score after 2 rounds is Jacksonville 30, Southwest 9. We have 2 new players to meet for Southwest.
Mackenzie Bowles, freshman.
Evan Morley, junior.
Players for this round, I'm going to name a river. You will tell me the body of water into which that river flows, okay? Number 1, the Jordan. Sorry, too late. Number 2, the Ohio. Mackenzie.
The Mississippi River.
Correct. Number 3, the Danube. Number 4, the Yellow River. Number 5, the Volga. Number 6, the Missouri. Mackenzie.
The Mississippi.
Yes. Number 7, the Amazon. Mackenzie.
The Atlantic Ocean.
Say it again.
The Atlantic Ocean.
No. Number 8, the Tiber River. Number 9, the Potomac. Mackenzie.
Chesapeake Bay.
Correct. Number 10, the Hudson River. Mackenzie.
Hudson.
Incorrect. Number 11, the Ganges River. Number 12, the Congo. Kalijah.
Atlantic.
Correct. Number 13, the Rhine River. Number 14, the Savannah River. Kalijah.
Indian Ocean.
Incorrect. Number 15, the Nile. Austin.
Mediterranean.
Correct. The Columbia River. Kalijah.
Atlantic Ocean.
Incorrect. The Mississippi River. Mackenzie.
Gulf of Mexico.
Correct. The Thames River. Mackenzie.
Atlantic Ocean.
Incorrect. The Rio Grande. And the Cape Fear. Okay, the ones we did not answer. The Jordan River empties into the Dead Sea, the Danube into the Black, the Yellow River into the Yellow Sea, the Volga empties into the Caspian, the Tiber is the Mediterranean, the Hudson River into the Atlantic Ocean, the Rhine into the North Sea, the Columbia River into the Pacific Ocean, the Thames into the North Sea, the Rio Grande, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Cape Fear, the Atlantic Ocean. We'll add in our lightning round points and come back with our final score in just a moment.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Our final score is Jacksonville 42, Southwest 19. We've got Swansboro playing the newest Onslow County High School, Early College, coming up in just a couple of minutes, so please stay with us.
Miss Nicole Martin, our 2017-18 Onslow County Schools Teacher of the Year. Creative thinker, marvelous teacher, advocate for public education and students, and superhero, Miss Nicole Martin.
Onslow County has just been, is just the greatest district that anyone could ever ask to work for. And really, I know we have cameras in here, but you really have to turn it on these students. I mean, I couldn't do anything that I do if it wasn't for my students. My honors class is in here right now. They were working really hard. And some of my student leaders are in here. They work so hard to help make everything possible and to have a supportive principal and a supportive district that really enables us to do everything that we do here in Onslow County.
Join us for the College Fair on Wednesday, October 25th at Northside High School. Middle school students are welcome from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and high school students from 6 to 8 p.m. Representatives from over 60 colleges will help answer all of your questions about applying, tuition, and college life. So we'll see you at the College Fair.
Welcome back to High School Academic Derby, brought to you by the Onslow County Schools. Our final match today is between Swansboro and the Early College team. Let's meet the coaches and their players for round one. We'll start with Swansboro. They're coached by Christina Golden. Her players for this round are
Alejandro Rivera, freshman.
Christina Serre, senior.
Sophia Colvin, senior.
Joshua T. Marks, senior.
The Early College team is coached by Deborah Kellum. Her players for this round are
Jesse Johnson, freshman.
Keyshawn Henry, freshman.
Colin Davis, freshman.
Alyssa Sabella, freshman.
Hey players, we're going to start with a toss-up dealing with figures of speech. What adverb appears most frequently in examples of litotes? L-I-T-O-T-E-S. Answer is not or no. Your next toss-up deals with traditions. These are modern orders of what? The Royal Norwegian Order of St. Olav, the Swedish Royal Order of the Seraphim, and the British Order of the Garter. Knighthood is the answer. Physical science. Whose law enables you to readily calculate an answer to this problem? A mixture of gases at 760 millimeters pressure contains 64% nitrogen, 16% oxygen, and 20% carbon dioxide by volume. What is the partial pressure of each gas? I'm not asking for an answer in numbers, but the name of the law. Christina.
Boyle's Law?
Incorrect. Early College? It's Dalton's Law. Math toss-up. I'll read it twice. The angle of elevation of a point on a cliff is 44 degrees. What is the angle of depression from that point? The angle of elevation of a point on a cliff is 44 degrees. What is the angle of depression from that point? And the answer, players, sorry, you've taken too long, is 44 degrees. I'd like to remind you all there is no conferring on toss-ups. Genetics. What is the term for a paired set of genes? Alyssa.
Chromosome?
Incorrect. Would you like to try at Swansboro? Christina.
Alleles?
Alleles is correct. For your bonus, answer each of the following 4 questions. In meiosis, what happens to the number of chromosomes in a cell? Number 2, during what stage of mitosis does the nuclear membrane disappear and the centromere of each double-stranded chromosome attach to a spindle fibril at the spindle equator? Number 3, what could be regarded as any change in the frequency of alleles in populations of organisms from generation to generation? And number 4, if one allele of a trait is dominant over the contrasting allele of that same trait, what can be said about the masked allele? Christina.
For 1, we have that they double. For 2, we have anaphase. For 3, we have mutation. And 4, that the gene is recessive.
Recessive for 3 and 4, you've got those answers correct for 4 points, 1 or 2, or the college?
For 1, we have that it also doubled. And for 2, we have...
I didn't hear your answer. Say it.
For 1, we had doubles. And
Okay.
for 2, we had prophase.
It's halved in meiosis, and number 2 was metaphase. Toss-up dealing with queens. Henry II imprisoned what woman from 1174 to 1189 for supporting their sons, the future Richard I and King John, in a revolt against him? The answer is Eleanor of Aquitaine. Your next toss-up deals with 21st century events. The Bowie-Bergdahl case involves the collision of the fundamental principles of no one left behind and never negotiate with what kind of group? Christina.
Terrorist.
Correct. For your bonus, number 1, Hamas is a radical group comprised of what ethnic group? Number 2, the White House and many news organizations came to use the acronym ISIL for the terrorist army that took over much of Iraq and Syria in 2014. The L stands for what region? Number 3, at the same time in 2014 that authorities were searching for clues to the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a horrific 1 square mile mudslide killed 43 and destroyed many homes in what U.S. state? Number 4, in 2014, NASA awarded contracts worth $6.8 billion to 2 companies to transport astronauts to the International Space Station. The recipients of these contracts included SpaceX and what American manufacturer of aircraft and satellites?
For number 1, we have Muslim. For number 2, we have Libya. For number 3, we have California. And for number 4, we have Boeing.
Boeing is correct for 2 points. 1, 2, or 3, Colin?
For number 2, we have Liberia.
Number 1 is the Palestinians. Number 2, the Levant. And number 3, the state was Washington. Your next toss-up deals with a kind of erosion. When meteoroids enter Earth's atmosphere, they are heated, their surfaces melt, and they are eroded by what process that also refers to the melting of glaciers? It's called ablation. Proverbs. According to the proverb, you should believe nothing of what you hear and what fraction of what you see. Alyssa?
Half.
That's correct. For your bonus, according to the saying, what is bred by familiarity? Number 2, according to the English proverb, what is fair in love and war? Number 3, what word was originally used in this parody of a proverb? Laugh and the world laughs with you, snore and you snore alone. Number 4, how is this proverb more usually expressed? Physical manifestations of intent are typically assigned more weight than verbal declarations thereof. Colin.
For number 2, we have death. For number 3, we have cry. And for number 4, we have actions speak louder than words.
3 and 4 correct for 4 points. 1 or 2, Swansboro.
For 1, we have love. And for 2, we have all.
All is correct for 2 points. The answer to number 1 is contempt. And that's the end of round 1. We'll come back with our score in round 2 in just a moment.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Join us for the College Fair on Wednesday, October 25th at Northside High School. Middle school students are welcome from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and high school students from 6 to 8 p.m. Representatives from over 60 colleges will help answer all of your questions about applying, tuition, and college life. So we'll see you at the College Fair.
And after one round, our score is Swansboro 12, Early College 6. And we have some new players to meet for both teams, and we'll start with Swansboro.
Ty Hicks, freshman.
And for the Early College team, we have
Kara James, freshman.
Cameron Davis, freshman.
Jack Wilds, freshman.
Okay, players, your first toss-up in this round deals with the digestive system. What part of the autonomic nervous system has these functions? I suppose digestive is a misfunction, it's just biology. It constricts pupils, constricts bronchioles, stimulates salivary secretion, and stimulates churning of the stomach. Which part of the autonomic nervous system? Christina?
Sympathetic.
Incorrect. Early College? It's the parasympathetic. Anthropology. The best known Australopithecine remains are those of a creature who lived in what is today Ethiopia about 3.2 million years ago. Name her. Christina?
Lucy.
Lucy's correct. For your bonus, answer these questions, also dealing with anthropology. What Norwegian explorer and ethnologist is famously associated with a voyage on a vessel constructed mainly of balsa wood? Number 2, to what genus does man belong? Number 3, Sociologists use what adjective to describe a segment or group of a population united by its own culture? And number 4, what is the adjective form of the word totem? Christina.
For number 1, we have Nook. For number 2, we have Homo sapien. And for 3 and 4, we have nothing.
Okay, no answers to the other two. None of those are correct, early college.
For 3, we have community.
Okay, number 1 is Thor Heyerdahl. Number 2, the genus is Homo. You gave me 2 answers there. A little bit too much information. Number 3 is ethnic, and number 4, totemic. Opera. Dubose Hayward published a novel later made into an opera by George Gershwin. It concerns life in a black tenement section of the Charleston waterfront, Catfish Row. Name this opera. It's called Porgy and Bess. Toss up dealing with mechanics. Auto mechanics will adjust the front wheels with a slight convergence to improve steering alignment. What is the hyphenated name for this adjustment? It's called toe-in. Your next toss-up deals with abbreviations. Good quality electrical appliances will have UL approval. For what do these initials stand? Underwriters Laboratories. Cytology. Cell cytoplasm contains a large variety of molecules as well as what specialized structures that carry out particular functions? Christina?
Organelles.
Organelles, that's correct. Okay, 4 bonus questions that also deal with biology. Number 1, zygotes are cells formed by the union of male and female reproductive cells, collectively known as what? Number 2, melanocytes are in what part of the body? And that's spelled M-E-L-A-N-O-C-Y-T-E-S. Number 3, about 90% of which layer of the skin consists of cells that produce keratin? And number 4, what is the name of the jelly-like fluid that surrounds organelles? Christina.
For number 1, we have gametes. For number 2, we have skin. For number 3, we have subcutaneous. And for number 4, we have cytoplasm.
1, 2, and 4 correct for 6 points. Number 3, early college?
We have nothing.
That's the epidermis. This toss-up deals with World War I. What French Army officer who became a national hero in World War I for his defense of Verdun later assumed dictatorial powers as head of the pro-Axis Vichy regime and ultimately died disgraced and imprisoned? His name was Marshal Pétain. Idioms. When a product is euphemistically said to have fallen off the back of a truck, usually this means that it is stolen property to be sold on what market? Christina?
Black.
Black market is correct. For your bonus, answer these questions also dealing with various kinds of euphemisms and idioms. Number 1, what idiom relating to mastication means to undertake more than you are capable of doing? Number 2, what one word completes this idiom? And this word means to be surprised. The idiom is to be taken blank. Number 3, what word is missing in this example? For weeks, police were pretty confident that old Mr. Crabtree was involved in a series of local auto thefts. Mr. Crabtree was under a blank of suspicion. Number 4, with regard to women and members of minorities, what phrase indicates an unofficial barrier restricting advancement in the workplace? Christina.
For number 1, we have to bite off more than you can chew. For number 2, we have a back. For number 3, we have state. And for number 4, we have the glass ceiling.
1, 2, and 4 correct for 6 points. Number 3, early college.
Hood.
Is cloud. Central America. Name the highway that extends from Argentina to Fairbanks, Alaska. It's called the Pan American Highway. Your next toss-up deals with landforms. The word ben, spelled B-E-N, is a form of an old Gaelic word that indicates what landform, particularly in the country of Scotland. It's a mountain. And that's the end of our second round. We'll add up these scores and come back with a lightning round in just a moment.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
After 2 rounds, our score is Swansboro 30, Early College 6. We have one new player to meet for the Swansboro team.
Yes, he's sophomore.
As is the case always with our lightning rounds, all of the answers have a common factor. Today's is that they all will start with the letter B. Capital of China. Christina.
Beijing.
Correct. Metallic element atomic number 4, symbol BE. Jack.
Beryllium.
Correct. Oldest continually inhabited town in North Carolina. Popular game invented by James Naismith. Founder of the American Red Cross. Christina.
Barton.
Correct. An electron ejected with great force from a radioactive atom during decay. English romantic poet who wrote Don Juan. Capital of Romania. Christina.
Bucharest.
Correct. The film star famous for playing in The Godfather and On the Waterfront. Administrative headquarters of the European Union located in what city in Belgium? Christina.
Brussels.
Correct. Revolutionary leader known as the George Washington of South America. The largest nation of South America.
Brazil?
Yes. Plant phylum containing the mosses and liverworts. First cheap method for making steel, it's named for its inventor. Christina.
The Bessemer process.
Correct. Largest order of insects having leathery forewings protecting their flying wings. Friend of Julius Caesar and leader of the plot to assassinate him. Songwriter of Alexander's Ragtime Band and White Christmas. John, Paul, George, and Ringo were collectively known as Christina.
Oh, sorry.
Wait for me to call on you,
Sorry.
please. Beatles is correct. The Nobel Prize-winning author of Humboldt's Gift and The Adventures of Augie March. An alloy of copper, tin, zinc, and phosphorus that is harder than brass. Okay, the ones we didn't answer correctly. The oldest inhabited town in North Carolina is Bath. James Naismith invented basketball. You get a beta particle during radioactive decay. George Gordon, known better as Lord Byron, wrote Don Juan. On the Waterfront and The Godfather had Marlon Brando in them. Simone Bolivar is the George Washington of South America. Bryophyia are the mosses and liverworts. The Beatles were John, Paul, George, and Ringo, and they also were the largest order of insects that have leathery forewings, just spelled a little differently. Brutus was the friend of Julius Caesar. Irving Berlin wrote White Christmas, Saul Bellow, Humboldt's Gift, and bronze is a copper tin alloy. We'll come back with our final score in just a moment. Jack's excited to find out what it is.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1,000,000. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Join us for the College Fair on Wednesday, October 25th at Northside High School. Middle school students are welcome from 5:30 to 6 p.m. and high school students from 6 to 8 p.m. Representatives from over 60 colleges will help answer all of your questions about applying, tuition, and college life. So we'll see you at the College Fair.
Swansboro 42, Early College 10. Academic Derby, as you know, is a locally funded product of the Onslow County school system. Thanks for watching, and please join us next time for matches featuring Dixon against Richlands, Northside playing White Oak, and then Dixon returning to face this Early College team we just met today. Thanks again for watching us.